Want red beans and rice that taste real nice? Ask Corey, he got the story. Want to make lasagna better than your mama? Ask Corey, he got the story. Want blackened catfish to be your main dish? Ask Corey, he got the story. Want to make gumbo without all the mumbo jumbo? Ask Corey, he got the story. Want a king cake that ain't no fake? Ask Corey, he got the story. Want to make a poor boy that'll bring your mouth joy? Ask Corey, he got the story. Corey Rocan, Food 411.
Welcome back to Food 411. Today's a very special episode for me. So, growing up in South Louisiana, I was nurtured and raised in South Louisiana and Cajun cooking. And the base to all that cooking is a meat called Tasso. Most people don't know what Tasso is. Tasso's, it's a pork product made from the front shoulder. The front shoulder is something that moves a lot, and it's got a lot of movement, and it's got a lot of flavor in there. It's a tough meat from the muscle, but it's got a lot of flavor in there. So what the Cajuns did is the Cajuns put their seasoning on it and let it cure, and then they smoke it. And that's a base for a lot of the cooking that you love. Your red beans and rice, and your white beans, and your jambalaya, and your gumbo. That's the nice flavor base. So you can use Canadian bacon and other things to try to mimic it and try to trick it. But there's nothing better than a good Tasso. So I know that the Tasso is made from the shoulder. And I, in theory, know how to cook it. So now that I've moved to Florida, I can't get Tasso. So I'm going to make my own. But I want to do something different. Let's put a little twist on this. I'm going to make mine out of the Hog Jowl, which is the side, it's the cheek. Right? It's got a lot of movement, but it's got more fat. And I'm thinking that the more fat's going to give it more flavor. So this is what we're going to try to do. This is an episode as an experiment, and if you're watching this, it worked out. So sit back and watch this, and we'll see how it works. Here's our hog jowl. Right? Nice piece of meat. Looks like it's got a lot of fat, a lot of flavor, but it's got the skin on it. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to carefully get this skin off. You can make Tasso with the skin on it, but whenever you go to eat it, it's not going to be tasting so good. So what I do is I have me a fillet knife, and I'm going to carefully cut the skin off. Just being very careful, getting as close to the skin as I possibly can. And if you don't have a sharp knife for this, watch episode 1 of Food 411 and learn how to sharpen a knife. A properly sharpened knife, you have to have a very sharp knife for this. Now I'm going to cut this into about 1-inch strips. About like that's what I'm looking for. You can see the amount of fat in there. This should be very tasty. And when you're doing Louisiana cooking, that's what you're looking for, is flavor. This is going to be the base to a lot of things. I'll put this in some gumbo, some red beans and rice, some lima beans, peas, all kinds of things you use this for. Jambalaya. Gotta have that nice rich base. So if you're watching this video, we'll know that pork jowl Tasso is good. And if you do not see this video, you will be seeing a video on how to make tasso out of pork shoulders, like they're supposed to be. Alright, so we'll let this sit here and we'll get our spices together. Now it's time to make the rub. So we're going to show our spices here. So I got my meat sitting here. Salt, about 2 tablespoons. Black pepper, about 1.5 tablespoons. Cayenne pepper, about 1.25 tablespoons. A little more, a little less, it's up to you. About 2 tablespoons of granulated garlic. About 1.5 tablespoons of onion powder. 5 tablespoons of smoked paprika. I wouldn't use the regular paprika on this. Use the smoked paprika, and if you can get Spanish smoked, even better. You don't have to be exact on these ingredients. A little more, a little less, you're not going to hurt anybody. Just trying to get the bumps out, get everything mixed together, get everybody in there grooving a little bit. Make some introductions. Okay. So now what we want to do is rub this on the meat all over. We're going to use every bit of this. It's alright to be messy. Just get it all on here. You're going to get your hands messy. Going to get them dirty. It's alright. Put all your seasoning out here. Now we're just going to start coating it. You want to coat every bit of this as much as you can. And then we're going to cure this, just like they cure bacon. And all that does is just let this stuff age and let all the flavors get in there. Let's see what the paprika's doing, I guess. That's alright. So now we have everything seasoned. I'm going to get it on some plastic wrap. Kind of get it nice and tight. And we're going to put these babies to bed for 3 days up to a week. What we're going to do is we're going to do it for a week. Because what you have to do is you have to smoke this stuff in a smoker. And most people work. So I'm going to do this from one weekend to another weekend. The more smoke, more aging, the better. All right. Just want to get that as tight as you can. I'm going to wrap another couple pieces around that, and I'll meet you at the fridge.
All right, everybody be quiet. These babies have to sleep for 7 days. Shh. Well, hello there. There you are. It's been 7 days. It's time to wake up. Come on, let's go.
Now that our tasso has been curing for 7 days, it's time to get it on the smoker. So I have an electric smoker that uses wood chips. And a lot of people are a little nervous about that. And I tell you what, after all the years of smoking with a regular smoker, I would never go back. Keeps the perfect temperature. And what we're going to do is we're going to put this on at about 225, and we're going to monitor it to see about how long it takes. I'm guessing anywhere between 6 and 7 hours. I'm going to put a temperature probe in it, and I'm just going to kind of watch the temperature. The fat to melt needs to get to about 165 degrees and it needs to hold it there for several hours. So I'm going to just stick a probe into one of the larger pieces and I'm just going to keep watching it. So I'm just going to unwrap these and then you guys can meet me out at the smoker. Oh, hey there. So look at the color on these things. These things are beautiful. So here's my smoker. I've got it preheated to 225 and today I'm using mesquite. You can use mesquite's good, hickory's good. You can even use oak. Some people use pecan and apple. I prefer mesquite for this. So what we're going to do, see all that smoke. Just as good a flavor as a regular smoker, except the temperature is perfect. So I took 2 of my grates out. I have 4 grates. I took 2 out just to keep them clean. Just going to loosely put them in here. I could have put it all on one rack if I wanted to, but I like to give them a little breathing room. And that, my friends, is it for about 7 hours. So I'll do all the testing, and if it's not 7 hours, we'll get it corrected. Hey, so it's 7 hours later. I got started late, so it's late at night. Everybody's asleep. So I'm going to pull these things out. I'm going to cover them, and in the morning we're going to taste them to see how they are. I can tell you this, they smell really, really good. Hope you can see that. Totally tender. Look at that. Just falling apart. But this Tasso is going to be something I'm going to use in all my soups and stuff. So I want to get the true taste tomorrow when it's reformed and congealed a little bit. So we'll see in the morning. Okay, so it's the next morning, and this Tasso, like you saw last night, that I pulled it out about 1 o'clock in the morning, so flavorful, and the fat just rendered down into this beautiful thing. If you've ever had fried pork bellies, which is like a bacon that's uncured, and they fry it, the taste, it's where the fat just holds together, but it just falls apart. Something that's hard to describe. Anyway, that's what this consistency is like. This is incredible on its own. So what I'll do is when I make like a red beans or a gumbo or anything that you need a good base, instead of putting a lot of oil or butter, I'm going to use this fat with all these seasonings, and it's going to cook down, and then that'll be the base to everything. That's the trick that the Cajuns have. So once you cook this stuff, what I'm going to do is I'm going to vacuum seal it in bags, and it can stay in the freezer for months and months and months. Probably 3 months or so. But this is the secret to the best gumbo, jambalaya, red beans, you name it. This is the secret. But to make it out of pork jowl, this is the first time I've ever heard of it being done. This was an experiment. And I'll tell you what, the flavor and the fat content is perfect. I call this one nailed. So you do yourself proud if you make this. So if you want to watch, you can watch. I'm just going to vacuum seal one. And if you don't have one of these, do yourself a favor and get one. So I figured, you know, a little less than a pound. This is what I'll use for one recipe. And I'll probably get to do about 4 recipes out of this one batch. So this is it. Put this in the freezer, and the next time we have something to cook, I've got my own Tasso. I don't have to worry about going to the store. I don't have to worry about ordering it. Got my own homemade pork jowl Tasso. Hope you guys enjoy. Till next time, see ya.